Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some really cool battles featuring level 51 CARNIVINE and Legacy Ember Charizard going on a win streak in the Ultra League. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. CARNIVINE is a pure grass-type Pokemon with the moveset of Vine Whip, Crunch, and Power Whip. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out XL CARNIVINE in action in the Open Ultra League. Terrible lead in the first match, CARNIVINE into Genesect. Farms up some energy and then going to save switch into Registeel. Registeel does tank any one move here. Genesect goes for the Fire Techno Blast. Registeel able to hang on. Opponent counter swaps into Politoed and Registeel is going to be able to fire back with the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon does massive damage onto Politoed, but Politoed able to tank it in the Ultra League and they're going to be able to fire off a move. Weather Ball not enough to KO. They're going to be forced to throw a second Weather Ball or Registeel would have made it to a Focus Blast. From here, this does set up CARNIVINE for a pretty nice farm down, because if CARNIVINE can leave with a Crunch, which it looks like they're going to be able to do, Crunch is going to do a nice amount of damage onto the Genesect, because Genesect is definitely not the tankiest Pokemon around. Opponent brings back in the Genesect, and going straight for the Crunch. This will do nice damage if it lands, which it does. In comes Charizard, and the opponent has Shadow Swampert in the back, the absolute last Pokemon that he was hoping to see. Legacy Ember does more fast move damage than Fire Spin, but it does generate less energy. So unfortunately, Charizard is going to be significantly outpaced in this matchup. Shields up the Hydro Cannon, but they have a second, and he's actually going to save the shield. Looks like he may try and go for a very ambitious Vine Whip farm down. Shadow Swampert farming up. Can they get to the Sludge Wave? They cannot. They get taken out. Back in comes Genesect, but CARNIVINE has a lot of energy, and it looks like they're going to be able to reach the two Crunches. First gets the shield, and the second one will get the KO. Hard countered on the lead, and in the end game, still able to get the win. Hopping into the next match, setting CARNIVINE into Poliwrath, a fantastic lead. Poliwrath is actually staying in here. They farm up some energy, safe switch into Cresselia, but Cresselia is going to be met by Registeel. And this is an absolutely dominating matchup for Registeel. Cress goes for the Future Sight, but as you see, that does basically no damage, and it's about to do even less after this Zap Cannon. Cresselia actually commits a shield, which honestly surprises me that they're willing to shield in this negative of a matchup. That makes me think they're probably looking to stall out the switch clock and save the Cresselia for later and switch again. Registeel is going to be firing off another Zap Cannon. This one does go unshielded. You do have to be mindful the switch clock is coming up. The Poliwrath does have some energy. Not enough for a dynamic punch, but has to watch for a switch. There it is, back in comes Poliwrath, and CARNIVINE is able to reach the Power Whip, and this should be grabbing that final shield, or Poliwrath gets taken out, and it will grab the final shield. CARNIVINE should be able to tank one move here. They go for the Ice Punch. They are going to get outpaced to a second, but you have two shields, you may as well use at least one of them. Going to shield up the Ice Punch, and now looking to overfarm quite a bit, farming up and throwing on the CMP tied to the next Ice Punch. Very, very nice energy management. Taking down the Poliwrath, back in comes Cresselia, and going to be able to land the Crunch. The coverage move coming in handy. Crunch is going to do some nice super effective damage. Looking for the farm down on Cress, just not able to get there. Honestly, I think that might have been worth a shield, because you're very close to a move on CARNIVINE, but choosing to save the shield for Charizard, and in the back is Swampert, and this is quite scary, because Swampert does quite well against both Charizard and Registeel. Going straight for the Blast Burn, that's going to do big damage, and it ends up being a CMP tie. This is really tough. Going to commit the shield on the Charizard, trying to get any extra Ember damage that they can, and now it's going to be a race. Can Registeel get to a move here? They have stored energy. Registeel able to get to the Focus Blast, taking down the Swampert, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, setting CARNIVINE into Melmetal. Pretty neutral lead overall, and definitely happy to see the Melmetal here, because Melmetal has a ton of play against those two back Pokemon. So CARNIVINE is going to stay in and fire off the Crunch. Crunch lands and gets that ever important defense drop. CARNIVINE should be able to tank whatever Melmetal throws here. They go for the Rock Slide, and it looks like they can tank a second Rock Slide as well. CARNIVINE choosing to let this go, knowing that the defense is dropped, so maybe this second Crunch is going to be enough to KO. This is going to be very close. CARNIVINE going for the second Crunch. It lands, does not KO, Little bit of lag, and Melmetal is able to reach a last-second move. Carnivine is going to let it through, and then bring in Registeel for an aggressive farm down. Registeel gets a nice energy lead, and the opponent is going to bring in a Escavalier. Going to be going straight for the Zap Cannon. This will do some big damage or be grabbing the first shield. Opponent does commit the shield, staying in, goes for the catch, fails to catch, but in the back is Trevenant, and watch these embers absolutely melt through Trevenant. Going for the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is shielded. Trevenant, at this point, knows it's in trouble. They're probably going to have to start going for Seed Bomb baits, but these embers are doing massive damage. They do go for the Seed Bomb, but at this point, Charizard just double shields and commits to the farm down here. They are going to shield up a second Seed Bomb. Zard able to farm down, and they leave with a Blast Burn loaded. This Escav is going to be absolutely charbroiled by the Blast Burn, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, setting Carnivine into Cresselia. Pretty neutral lead, but does have two stronger responses to Cresselia in the back. Going to stay in with Carnivine to start, because Carnivine is going to be able to outpace and reach the Crunch. And Crunch is going to do some nice, super effective damage. Gets the defense drop, and gets a very nice catch onto the Registeel. Able to waste Cresselia's energy, as Future Sight does basically nothing here. Opponent is going to bring in Talonflame, but with an energy lead, Registeel can put in a massive amount of work here. Going to be able to reach the Zap Cannon and grab a shield from Talonflame. Talonflame over farming and going for the Flame Charge. This does not KO Registeel. Registeel does not have to shield, and Talonflame is going to have to throw here. Looks like they try and go for the farm down, but that is going to be costly. Able to reach a second Zap Cannon, and down goes the Talonflame. Opponent may have underestimated Registeel's bulk there, and it ends up costing them switch advantage and shield advantage. Cresselia able to take out the Registeel. Back in comes Carnivine, and the opponent's final Pokemon is revealed to be a Walrein. So Carnivine has the perfect coverage to close out this match. Power Whip for the Walrein, and Crunch for the Cresselia. Going to bank energy, and then bring in the Charizard. Walrein is going to be firing off an Icicle Spear, but Charizard is going to tank the first. Charizard is probably going to want to shield up the second here, and then try and reach a move. Charizard, farm it up, and the opponent concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, and Carnivine into Nidoqueen. This is really not a great lead. Carnivine staying in, taking super effective damage, but able to make a very nice catch, catching Poison Fang onto the Registeel. This is still a tough matchup for Registeel though, as Registeel can only hit for single resisted or double resisted damage. Speaking of which, going for the double resisted Zap Cannon, hoping for the shield, and gets it from the Nidoqueen. Very nicely done, as now Nidoqueen's attack is lowered by one stage. Earth Power connects, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage. Reggie should be able to get to the Focus Blast, tries to go for the Zap Cannon, but ends up losing CMP. Registeel commits the shield, gets baited, and is trapped in a CMP tie going for the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon goes unshielded, brings back in Carnivine, but unfortunately Carnivine is met with a Poison Fang. Carnivine should be able to tank this. Opponent is going to finally switch out, and they bring in Cresselia, but Cresselia may not know that Carnivine has access to Crunch. Crunch lands, gets the debuff, and now going for Crunch number 2. And this will do massive damage onto the Cresselia. They let it through, gets a second debuff, and Cresselia is forced to throw their energy. That is absolutely fantastic. And now, I think you just bring in Charizard, you Ember down, and you get a nice energy lead, so you can hopefully take on whatever's in back. In comes Charizard, gets a very nice energy lead. Do we see the Nidoqueen, or do we see that third Pokemon? Opponent does bring in the Nidoqueen. They try and go for the Dragon Claw catch onto their Shadow Granbull. Charizard, no baiting here, going for the Blast Bird. It connects, and down goes the Granbull. And at this point, things are looking very, very good. Charizard able to reach the Dragon Claw. That is going to get the final shield off of Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen firing off a Poison Fang. Charizard will commit the final shield. These Embers doing quite a lot of damage. Switches in Registeel. Registeel able to lock on down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, hitting XL Carnivine into Giratina Altered. And this is another match where having Crunch is extremely helpful. Carnivine charging up and going to be going straight for the Crunch. Giratina doesn't have to shield this, but this will do a nice amount of damage and gets the defense drop. Farming up, and again, another catch onto Registeel, able to catch the Dragon Claw. Very nicely done. But the opponent has an Ampharos in the back, and that's a scary thing for Registeel to see, because Ampharos can take any one move here. Registeel goes for the Zap Cannon, and Ampharos no shields. This could be a potential Focus Blast, deciding to call it. It is the Focus Blast, but Registeel able to hang on. Ampharos going for the farm down. They do not get there, and they're going to be hit with the Focus Blast. Ampharos is going to commit the shield and commit to the farm down. Ampharos leaves with a ton of energy, but Carnivine has some nice energy as well. This is a tough call. Is it going to be the Focus Blast? Able to call the Thunder Punch bait, and this should just be another Thunder Punch as well. Going to let it through. Carnivine able to farm up and going to go for the crunch before they're able to reach a third Thunder Punch. This crunch is going to be taking out the Ampharos. Back in comes Giratina, but Carnivine has another crunch loaded, and this Giratina kind of has to shield it, or it's going to do massive damage, and able to catch on the offset CMP onto the Charizard. Catches left and right. In the back is Swampert. This is definitely not what you want to see with Charizard, but things are looking very nice for a potential Carnivine sweep in the endgame. Goes for the Dragon Claw on the CMP tie. And at this point, choosing to let the Charizard go and trust in Carnivine, because Carnivine does of course have access to crunch, which can hopefully take out that Giratina. Going to commit the shield and commit to the farm down. Carnivine not able to quite farm down, going to have to commit the final shield here. The question is the Giratina going to be in crunch range? Back in comes the Giratina, going straight for the crunch. This is going to be very close. Crunch onto the Giratina, not enough to KO. Carnivine able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up an incredible lead, Carnivine into Jellicent. Jellicent farms up some energy, safe switches into Armored Mewtwo, which is going to be met with Registeel. Registeel does have a very nice matchup here, as Registeel is able to tank this super effective Dynamic Punch, no problem. That doesn't even do half, and then can fire back with the Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon connects, does big damage, and gets that ever important attack drop. Registeel farming up. Armored Mewtwo, worried about getting outpaced, decides to go for a Psystrike. But Psystrike is not going to do basically any damage. Registeel farms up to 100 and goes for the Zap Cannon and is going for the Undercharge. The perfect Undercharge. Registeel able to farm down and leaves with almost a Zap Cannon loaded. Absolutely beautiful energy management. Registeel is going to fire off another Zap Cannon, and Jellicent forced to commit the shield. Registeel farming up, trying to go for another, and Jellicent is at a move. At this point, Registeel has done its job, choosing to no shield. They go for the Bubble Beam, not enough to KO, and they're able to catch the Zap Cannon onto a Alolan Muck. Registeel able to put in an absolute ton of work, and now in comes the Ember Charizard. This is a Snarl Alolan Muck, so they are going to be generating energy very quickly and spamming out these Dark Pulses. Charizard is going to be going for the Dragon Claw, going for the Undercharge, looking to try and farm down here, but a bit too much of an Undercharge, and unfortunately they're going to be hit with another Dark Pulse. Thankfully, Charizard is able to tank that. Back in comes Jellicent, and Jellicent does have a move stored. Jellicent does go for the Bubble Beam. That hits for super effective, but again, not enough to KO. Charizard is going for the Blast Burn. Even when resisted and debuffed, Blast Burn still hurts quite a bit. Jellicent goes for the farm down, but not before they're going to be hit with a second move. Dragon Claw is going to be grabbing the shield, brings in Carnivine, and Carnivine should be able to tank a Shadow Ball here. So going to let it through. They go for a Bubble Beam bait. Oh my goodness, opponent desperately trying to win this, but things are not looking good for them whatsoever. Banks the energy and resets the debuff by bringing in Registeel. Registeel gets farmed down. Carnivine wins CMP, and this will be game over. Power Whip taking down the Jellicent, and that is a good game. Hopping into the final match, leading Carnivine into Tapu Fini, an incredibly good lead. Opponent is going to save switch into Registeel, and Registeel is going to be met with the Ember Charizard. But this is not the good matchup it once was, thanks to Zap Cannon, because Zap Cannon is going to hit for massive super effective damage, and unfortunately Ember does not charge particularly quickly. Going for the Dragon Claw bait, able to get the shield from Registeel, trying to go for the Blast Burn, but again is going to be outpaced. That is really unfortunate. Shielding up the second Zap Cannon, Do they have to bait again? They're going for it. Can they grab the final shield from Registeel? Dragon Claw goes unshielded, and that is a big problem. Able to reach the Blast Burn, but now Registeel knows that they can shield this and take Switch if they want to, and that's exactly what they decide to do. That is quite unfortunate, as Registeel is going to be able to take Switch advantage. Going to bring back in the Carnivine, looking for a farm down, not going to be able to get there, and going to need to fire off a Crunch. Crunch is going to be taking out the Registeel. In the back is Talonflame, and this is definitely scary. Talonflame with the energy lead is able to outpace, and they're going to be able to land the Flame Charge, and then switch out to avoid getting hit with the Zap Cannon, and that's exactly what they do. In comes Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini does tank a Zap Cannon here, which is an issue, because Tapu Fini is going to be able to reach a Surf, and Surf is going to be getting that Registeel very, very low. Surf gets the Reggie low. Reggie not going to be able to switch out. They get taken out, and at this point, this game is over. Carnivine is going to do its best here, spamming out the double crunches, but throws on alignment, and an Incinerate goes through. Crunch number one, and that's just not going to be enough damage. Going for the second crunch. Unfortunately, Talonflame too tanky, able to hang on, and they're going to be able to take out the Carnivine and end the win streak. All in all, some incredibly fun battles featuring level 51 Carnivine and Legacy Ember Charizard. For me, it is always fun to see Spice picks take down the meta, and even more so during a ranked season. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.